What's good, guys? It's your boy DeMarcus J, back with another fantasy football draft. Of course, we're going to be getting to the best ball mania draft here on Underdog. It is the largest tournament and prize pool that they have, a total of 15 million prizes, over 677,000 entrants. 3 million the first, and tons of other prizes. We're going to go ahead and get into this draft as well. We're actually not waiting for anybody to join this time, so we're going to go ahead and get started. And we do have pick number 9. With pick number 9, I feel like I've been getting a lot of these late round picks lately. So just with them, I'm trying to be a little bit diverse and change it up, because I feel like I've got 9 and 10. Pick number 9 or 10 in probably 5 of the last 6 or 7 drafts we have did. It's kind of ridiculous at this point. But we're going to see how the board falls and see if we're able to get some good values dropping to us here at the 9th spot. Pretty sure we're probably not going to get anything crazy. The normal usually get Justin Jefferson followed by Jamar Chase. So we'll see, the draft just started, so we'll see what team won. And they actually go Jamar Chase over Justin Jefferson. Now, if you guys have been watching these drafts, you guys do know I prefer Jamar Chase over Justin Jefferson. Not because I think Jamar Chase is better. I believe these are the two best receivers in the league. And I don't think you can go wrong with either one. So I just opt to go with Jamar Chase just because he has Joe Burrow throwing him the ball instead of Kirk Cousins. Justin Jefferson does have a few more target competition in Jordan Addison, and of course we saw TJ Hawkinson come over for the second part of last year, and he was a big part of that offense as well. So I do think that is gonna just drop Justin Jefferson down just a tad bit in his numbers, but he's still a wide receiver 1. I believe him and Jamar Chase are just in a tier of their own at the top. And if you do have a top 2 pick, like I said, whichever one you prefer, I don't have a problem with you picking. Of course, second pick was Justin Jefferson. Then Cooper Kupp goes 3. A interesting thing you've probably seen in most of these underdog drafts is that Cooper Kupp ADP has surpassed Tyreek Hill's. So Cooper Kupp is getting drafted before Tyreek Hill now. And we're seeing Tyreek Hill make it here to pick 5, which I've seen a ton in these drafts recently. Tyreek Hill has been going at the 5, pick number 5 or 6. I'm not sure if it's just the legal issues and that it's just making people a little bit more wary to draft them. Like I said, I'm not worried about that at all. Anytime I can get Tyreek at pick number 5, I will. We are currently on the clock here. I am thinking about a few wide receivers here. I am going to get a wide receiver here. I'm going to go ahead and go with A.J. Brown. However, I did think about C.D. Lamb a lot. I've been getting C.D. Lamb late in these drafts due to the fact earlier in these best ball drafts, I do have a lot of teams where I was getting A.J. Brown at picks number 5 or 6. I would still go with that elite wide receiver before I get a running back. So I often would skip over the Christian McCaffrey or even Travis Kelce. So I do have a lot of teams with A.J. Brown or Stephon Diggs. I have been mixing in a lot of C.D. Lamb, as I do think C.D. Lamb is going to be a top 7 receiver this upcoming season. I just think he's that guy in Dallas, and I think Dallas is going to have a phenomenal offense like they do, and they're going to be one of the teams that push that pace of play. So I do think CeeDee Lamb is a phenomenal target here in the late first round. Now we're back up on the clock. This was actually a pretty easy decision here. I'm going to take Jalen Waddle. Whenever I can get Jalen Waddle, I'm going to take him. I just think his ceiling, long as Tua stays healthy, I think Jalen Waddle has the ability to be a top 12 receiver on the season, and then he can give you a top 5 finish, any given week. That's just where his ceiling is with Tua. The offense is going to be run through him and Tyreek Hill. We're going to recap a little bit of what has happened so far. In the first round, after pick number 4 here, which was Christian McCaffrey, you see Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, Travis Kelce, Bijan Robinson, A.J. Brown, Austin Eckler, CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Adams finishing the first round out. Those two teams at the 11-12 turn, they actually both go wide receiver as well, getting Amon-Ra St. Brown and Garrett Wilson. Then you have the Austin Eckler team there, actually going with the double running backs off the board, and going ahead and getting Jonathan Taylor. I just wanted to make this screen a little bit bigger for us guys to make sure we can see the next rounds as well. And of course, after Jonathan Taylor, we go Jalen Waddle, Chris Olave right after, Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb to the Travis Kelce owner, so they do start out with the elite tight end, elite running back. Saquon Barkley off the board next. Devonta Smith, T. Higgins, Tony Pollard, Patrick Mahomes to the team at 2. They got Justin Jefferson. And then the team at 1 actually goes with Derrick Henry here. And let's see who they're going to be getting to start this third round. See if they go elite quarterback or if they get another running back in this area. And they actually go Breece Hall. So they have started Jamar Chase, Derrick Henry, Breece Hall. I do think that is a pretty good team and actually a pretty unique team. I don't think you'll see many teams that have Jamar Chase having a Breece Hall, Derrick Henry as well. I do believe this is my first time seeing them go in this draft, and usually the guys like Ramondre Stevenson, and sometimes you'll get where Josh Jacobs goes off the board before Breece Hall. But Breece Hall has been a guy that usually goes in the middle of the third round here. I don't have any issue with where they took him, however. Alright, that team at 2 goes Ramondre Stevenson off the board. DK Metcalf goes next. I'm just not a fan of DK Metcalf. You guys have probably heard me say it, and you probably will not see me get DK Metcalf unless he drops to me in maybe the middle of the 4th round. That's probably the latest I would go after DK Metcalf. I just think with the other guys, the elite quarterbacks and the running backs, I just don't see why you would pick a guy like DK Metcalf over Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Josh Jacobs, even Mark Andrews. And whoa, okay. Alright, team at 7 goes Travis Kelce, Nick Chubb, and Mark Andrews. So they are going with a very aggressive bully tight end strategy. and they have arguably tight end number 1 and tight end number 2. I don't hate it. I don't think it's going to be very successful this season. I don't think a dual bully tight end strategy has ever really worked in anyone's favor. But we'll see. This may be the year. And of course, it was my pick. I do go ahead and go with Lamar Jackson, the elite level quarterback in this area. I probably would have gotten Amari Cooper here if Amari Cooper would have made it to me. But once Amari Cooper did not, like I said, I'm not a big fan of these wide receivers that go in this round. Amari Cooper is probably the best one in my opinion. So whenever he drops to me, I will go ahead and get him. However, that's not the case this time. So I think getting Lamar Jackson here is a phenomenal pick. I think he's gonna, as long as he stays healthy, I think we can see a MVP type year from Lamar Jackson. I know they say he's not going to be running as much, but like I said, that does not really mean that much. Like I said, until you actually see it, if Lamar needs to, Lamar is going to use his legs. That's what he has them for. He's going to use them, so I don't really take too much from the coaching staff saying they're not going to run him as much. But after our Lamar Jackson pick there, we get wide receivers, a lot of wide receivers off the board here. Christian Watson, Calvin Ridley, Deebo Samuel. Team at 12 also goes with Keenan Allen. So they are starting out the gate with a 4 wide receiver. Team number 11 goes ahead, picks up their first running back, which was Najee Harris. If you guys have not heard, not sure how true this is, but on the NFL rumors page, they did say something like Pittsburgh is looking to bring in Kareem Hunt as that running back too, or to share that backfield with Najee. I do think if they get a guy like Kareem Hunt in here, I do believe you will see Najee Harris maybe drop closer to where he's getting drafted at the end of the 5th, early 6th round. After that, though, we have Mike Williams off the board. We go ahead and get Travis Etienne. I love round 4 Travis Etienne. I will continuously take him. In the group of guys that he is in, I have Travis Etienne. I'm taking him over guys like Najee Harris and Jahmyr Gibbs. I think Etienne is in an elite offense or has the possibility to be a top 5 offense in the league. And they do bring in Tank Bigsby to get some of that workload. But I still think this is Travis Etienne's backfield, and I'm not really worried. I think his touchdown numbers are going to increase from last year. He didn't really score that many touchdowns, and then last year was his first year. Technically, it was technically his second year. It was his first year playing, as he was injured his full first year. So I think he only will get better from here. I have no problem with taking a shot at him in the 4th round. After he goes, we get another run on wide receivers here. We have Drake London. To the Bijan owner, I actually like what this team number 8 is doing. They have Bijan and Drake London paired, as well as they have Chris Olave, Amari Cooper. Team that probably look to try to get Deshaun Watson later. After Drake London, there we have Jerry Jeudy. That is the team that went both Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews. That is their first wide receiver. DeAndre Hopkins, Terry McLaurin, and Christian Kirk all off the board here. Then we have Jahmyr Gibbs, DJ Moore, And then Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow to the Jamar Chase owner at that 4-5 turn, as well as they pick up Kenneth Walker. After Kenneth Walker, we have Joe Mixon, Justin Fields off the board, Chris Godwin, TJ Hawkinson, Brandon Ayuk, and Mark and Hollywood Brown. Now we are coming up, I'm looking at a few different running backs here. I did want another wide receiver. However, as you guys can see, they've been taking these wide receivers. So no wide receiver that I really liked made it back to me. So I go with Aaron Jones here. All those wide receivers there that are left are pretty comparable. And if I can get one to make it back around to me at my pick in round 6, I would still be happy. I don't think Aaron Jones would have made it that far. So I go ahead and get him as my running back 2. I also probably would have went ahead and got J.K. Dobbins to pair him up with Lamar Jackson. Of course, the team before us, they went ahead and got J.K. Dobbins there. J.K. Dobbins was someone I was not high on last season, coming back from the ACL injury. This season, I don't really mind getting him. I would prefer it to be late 5th, early 6th round where I'm getting J.K. Dobbins. He had been a pretty solid 5th round selection here so far. And like I said, I do think he's going to have a great season. He's fully healthy, at least starting the season. So if we can get him to stay healthy, like I said, I think he will most definitely pay back that round 5 draft capital. After our Aaron Jones pick, we actually see Justin Herbert off the board. I was just looking there. They do have Mike Williams. I was going to say that's an unstacked Justin Herbert, but no, they do have Mike Williams there that they got in round 4. Trevor Lawrence to the Calvin Ridley owner. You have Alexander Madison as well as Miles Sanders. I love Madison. I think he's going to be a borderline running back 1 or a running back 2 on the season. However, it's just so many teams I have gotten them drafted in the 6th, 7th, 8th round. I cannot get them in round 5. And that team, they started out 4 wide receivers. They do go ahead get Alexander Madison and Miles Sanders at the turn there, so they do get their 2 running backs. Then this team goes Deontay Johnson, George Kittle off the board. George Kittle would have been somebody we were looking at, just due to the fact having a unique build, and he would have made it a well past his ADP. So I would have looked at getting him here in the 6th. However, he was taken, and hopefully made for the best. So I do go ahead and get Jackson Smith-Njigba. I love getting JS in, especially in these underdog drafts when he can have a huge week, and maybe later in the season he may surpass a guy like Tyler Lockett and be the wide receiver 2 there in Seattle. Then we get another run on wide receivers. Once we do that, we get Treylon Burks, Michael Pittman, Tyler Lockett, Jordan Addison, Damian Pierce, Kyle Pitts, Mike Evans, Kadarius Toney, George Pickens, Gabe Davis. So yeah, man, Jahan Dotson off the board as well. As you guys can see, this room loves their wide receiver value here. They love that wide receiver value. Um, and like I said, that's why you try to get your wide receivers early. And so when these guys who don't get their wide receivers early, they can have their kind of pick of the litter with these guys. However, us getting a pick here in the late 7th round, we're probably not going to be able to get any type of wide receiver value. And that's why usually around 7, 8, 9, and 10, around 7 through 10, I do try to look at other values on the board, whether that be running back, tight end, or quarterback. I just do try to stay away from those wide receivers in this area. Then as you can see, that was a 7 pick run on wide receivers. After Jahan Dotson, that team goes Elijah Moore, Quentin Johnston. That team is actually picking up. They do now have 2 rookie wide receivers in Jordan Addison and Quentin Johnston. Darren Waller goes off the board to the Saquon team. That is an interesting pairing I have found myself actually trying to make. If I get Saquon, getting some round 7 Darren Waller as well. I do think Darren Waller has the ability to be the leading, receiving candidate there with the Giants. I don't think that's out the realm of possibilities at all. After that, you have Cam Akers, Deshaun Watson, and then I go ahead and go Dallas Goedert here, guys. The Jalen Hurts team passed on Goddard. They got a tight end earlier. So I'm just going to help myself to this late round 7 Dallas Goedert. I don't think he would have made it back around. I think the teams at 11 or 12 would have definitely got him. So I go ahead and get him in hopes that a guy like David Montgomery or Isaiah Pacheco will make it back around to me in round 8. But as I'm saying that, we literally see both of them go off the board. And that kind of puts me in a predicament. And then Zay Flowers goes off the board. So at this point, guys, I honestly was really confused. All the guys I was going to get Montgomery, Isaiah Pacheco, and then Zay Flowers in that order. Those were the 3 guys I was looking at. So I do have to go ahead and go James Conner here. My main goal was to get another running back here. Like I said, I just really, really hate that I did not get one of those running backs making it around back to me. But like I said, I don't stand with my decision. I don't think we would have gotten Goddard if we would have went running back. I do think a team at 11 or 12 would have most definitely took him, even though they don't have any Eagles players. And right there, I'm just checking to make sure they did not have any Eagles players. And then I also get to pair Dallas Goedert with AJ Brown. So I have 2 pass catchers from one of the best offenses in the entire NFL. So, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with that there. After Goddard, we talked about it a little bit. Cortland Sutton goes off. Rashad White. DeAndre Swift is probably the only running back in this group that I'm kind of avoiding. David Montgomery, Isaiah Pacheco, Zay Flowers, and then we go James Conner. I do think DeAndre Swift, Isaiah Pacheco are good guys to get in this range, round 7, round 8, just because of the offenses that they're going to be in, and those guys should have a lot of opportunity. After we get James Conner, we do have Rashad Bateman, Michael Thomas, Brandon Cooks all off the board. I was not really interested in Rashad Bateman. um, which may end up, that may have been the right truth to pairing with Lamar Jackson. I don't know. Like I said, I did just want to go ahead and give me another running back here, starting running back. I do think Rashad Bateman, Zay Flowers, Odell, I believe all of their ceilings, all their floors are kind of the same. So, I mean, I think Zay Flowers is probably the best one, the younger out of the group. But like I said, once we missed on him, I wasn't going to reach on Rashad Bateman here. After Brandon Cooks there, you do have A.J. Dillon, Evan Ingram, Jameson Williams, Tyler Boyd, Juju Smith-Schuster, Allen Lazard, and then James Cook there off the board, followed by his brother Dalvin Cook there. So now we're getting a mini run on running backs. As you guys can look, there are just no wide receivers in the next 10 to probably about the 10 to 12 picks that we will even be looking at here. Like I said, wide receiver has just been pushed so far up these boards. Like you have a guy like Rashad Bateman going in 8. I think that's a very early for him. He should be a guy going in. Like I said, if he would have made it to us around 9 or 10, I probably would have took him. But yeah, this room is doing numbers on these wide receivers here. And right here, I just started looking at quarterbacks because I don't think a good running back is going to make it to me. If a guy like Antonio Gibson would have made it, or Dalvin Cook, I would have, of course, took them with my pick here in round 9. However, I'm going to go ahead and go Tua to pair my second round pick and Jalen Waddle together. I think long as Tua stays healthy, he will have a phenomenal season here. Like I said, health is the biggest concern. But in this range, like I said, I'm not looking for any wide receivers anyway. So I'm going to use this to go ahead and get a strong quarterback 2 option. So if Lamar misses any time, I will feel confident with Tua. If Tua misses any time, I will feel confident with Lamar. And then getting a elite quarterback like Tua here. I'm probably not going to go with another quarterback this whole draft. Like I said, with Tua though, if you do want to get insurance, go ahead and get you a third QB. I could totally understand that. However, we're not going to do that unless a quarterback probably falls well beyond their ADP here. But that's my only thing with pairing Lamar and Tua. You have guys. Lamar has missed significant time over the past 2 seasons. Tua is 1 sack away from maybe being out the whole season. But like I said, in these underdog drafts, we're drafting for upside here. We're not thinking about the negatives or the what ifs there. We're thinking about what if they stay healthy, not what if they get injured. Coming around on our round 10 pick, I have a few different things in mind. I'm not looking quarterback. Not really looking. No, don't really like the running backs in this area. So I do go ahead and get Zay Jones. Just another guy in a good offense. And then I can also pair him with Travis Etienne here. So if Jacksonville is that top 5 offense that I'm projecting it could be, we could see a few spike weeks there from a guy like Zay Jones. And let's not forget that this was Trevor Lawrence's wide receiver 2 last season. So he does have a great connection there with Zay Jones as well. So unless if Calvin really doesn't come in and live up to that 3rd round draft capital, I do believe we can see Zay Jones having a pretty big workload there. Kind of similar to last season. I'm going to move the board up here to the round 14. Of course, you guys know we are only drafting up until round 14. But don't worry, you guys. I will show you guys the full team at the end of the video to let you guys see what I did there around 15 through 18. I just don't pick those last 4 rounds just because they can make these videos a lot longer. They're already pretty long, so I just don't want to add that extra time picking on some random dudes there. That team goes Jared McKinnon off the board. I wonder what this team at 1 is going to do. This is a team that did pick Jamar Chase. Alright. Aaron Rodgers, Romeo Dobbs, Darnell Mooney. Yeah, these are guys that I not really excited about any of these guys. Romeo Dobbs has the outside chance to even be a wide receiver 3 in his offense. In what could be a run-heavy offense as well. I just am not excited about getting Dobbs at all. Darnell Mooney, I don't mind getting Darnell Mooney, especially if you have Justin Fields as the quarterback of your team. But without Justin Fields, I would also stray far away from Darnell Mooney as well. Then we get the running back run here, where we have Damian Harris, Elijah Mitchell, Samaje Perine, Russell Wilson, all off the board. Then Chig Okonkwo off the board. Chig has been a guy I've been getting a lot of in the 11th round here. But I go ahead and go Khalil Herbert. I love getting round 11 Khalil Herbert. Starting, I think he's going to be the running back 1 in Chicago. Recent reports are saying that he's been getting the starting reps. Like I said, don't really mean much at this time of year. But in what has been a run-heavy offense, I'm going to go ahead and get their running back 1 there. The guys behind them, Roshan Johnson, he's a young rookie. From what I'm hearing now, at least to begin the season, it looks like it would mainly be Herbert and Foreman. Maybe Roshan will come on later in the season, bearing any injuries to Khalil Herbert or Foreman. I just don't really see him getting that big of a workload. I am just hoping it doesn't turn into what would be like a 3-headed backfield there. Just hoping to avoid that at all costs here. After Khalil, you see Jamal Williams go there. Michael Gallup, Rondale Moore, Jonathan Mingo, Dalton Kincaid. Now, Dalton Kincaid would have been the guy we were looking at on the way back around. I have started taking a few more shots on a Dalton Kincaid. I am not very high on rookie tight ends, but it doesn't get much better than Dalton Kincaid. He's basically a wide receiver in a tight end's body, is what I heard in a video recently, and I totally agree. Then Rashee Rice goes off the board, and that's the team with Sky Moore as well. So he does get a stack there of a few of the Kansas City receivers there. So elite offense, any of those guys can have a spike week at any given time. I go ahead and go Kendre Miller here. I think Alvin Kamara is going to get suspended. It's just the fact of when. But if he gets suspended, I think we can see Kendre Miller being a running back 1 as early as week 1. Jamal Williams was very inefficient last year. Of course, he got a lot of those goal line touches. If you look where his touchdowns are coming from, he wasn't busting tackles. He wasn't running 10, 15 yards. They weren't just off a big run. Most of his touchdowns were from the 1 yard line. So I do think he still may be the goal line back there. But I do think Kendre Miller can be the early down guy. Like I said, it just all depends about the Alvin Kamara situation and how that is worked out. Tank Bigsby, Jalen Warren. Jalen Warren is another guy I have not been drafting, and I especially will not be drafting him now with the news that they may be interested in Kareem Hunt. Like I said, not sure how true that is, but you know what? I'm not going to be the one to find out. Tyler Higbee off the board there. Then there go Roshan Johnson, Jared Goff, Van Jefferson, MBS, Irv Smith, that's to the Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow owner. So they do get that stack as well. And then they go ahead and go Jerome Ford. And that's going to be Nick Chubb's backup. If they don't bring in anyone, it's going to be interesting to see what the possible ceiling of a guy like Jerome Ford can be. How much workload he will be getting in every week. But from the looks of it right now, it looks like Nick Chubb is going to be a workhorse there in Cleveland, and he's most definitely, I think he's going to live up to that second round draft capital as well. And I think he's most likely going to be a top 7 running back, bearing any injuries. Of course, these projections are strictly going off if guys are to make it the full season. We can't predict injuries, so we don't even try. Now we're coming around on what our last 2 picks will be. In rounds picks 13 and 14, at least on camera here. And then, like I said, after we make that pick number 14, we are going to cut out. And then I will let you guys see the full draft board as well as I will go over our team and give the team a grade. I like giving my teams a grade just so I can see how right I was by the end of the off season, or how very wrong I was at the end of the off season, and where we can maybe improve upon for the next fantasy season. Right here I go Alec Pierce. Give us a little bit more wide receiver room. Now, Alec Pierce is a guy I kind of look at him and I'm going to use maybe Tyler Boyd. I think that's a good example there. I think he can give you a really big week every once in a while, but I don't think he's going to be consistently in your lineup or a guy that you would ever want to start unless there was an injury, like to say the wide receiver one in their offense, like a Michael Pittman. Alec Pierce, like I said, I do think he's a good wide receiver. Just with the quarterback play there, I don't know how accurate Anthony Richardson is going to be. I'm rooting for him. I am a Florida Gators fan, so I am rooting for the guy. I do think he's going to be a decent fantasy option, however, just due to his rushing upside. But he's also a guy that I have not drafted much of, just because I need a bigger sample size there to really know more about him. After Alec Pierce, Dalton Schultz, DJ Sharp, KJ Osborne, Devin Singletary, Rashad Shaheed, Tyquan Thornton, and then I go ahead and get Jaden Reed here. So you guys, I'm going to go ahead and cut out, and then I will see you guys in just one moment here once the draft concludes, and we'll go over that full team. And so we're back, guys. The draft has concluded, and here is the remaining round 14. And then what we did after that here, we did go ahead, after we got Jaden Reed there in the 14th round, last pick you guys saw on camera. Next we went with John Mechie. Then we went with Dawson Knox, Ezekiel Elliott, and then Jake Ferguson. For a few different reasons here, we did go ahead and go Dallas Goedert. Dawson Knox is kind of up in the air, just depending on how much work the rookie tight end is going to get. I actually have, since the recording of this video, I haven't drafted Dawson Knox at all. And whenever I was drafting Dawson Knox, I would always get a third tight end just in case Kincaid does beat out Dawson Knox there. We're going to go up and see the top of this draft here. So this is the full draft board here. And then this is our team. I actually really like the team, guys. 2 quarterback, 6 running back, 7 wide receiver, 3 tight end. Lamar Jackson, Tua as our quarterbacks. Travis Etienne, Aaron Jones, James Conner, Khalil Herbert, Kendre Miller, Ezekiel Elliott here. And then at the wide receiver, we have A.J. Brown, Jalen Waddle, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Zay Jones, Alec Pierce, Jaden Reed, and John Mechie. Conclude with the tight ends, Dallas Goedert, Dawson Knox, Jake Ferguson. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. If you guys do, let me know what you guys think about this team down below in the comment section. Like and subscribe for more content. And then I'm going to give this overall team grade. I'm going to go ahead and give them a B. I'm going to go ahead and give them a B minus. Running backs, they are just in that middle pack. I don't know if we get any separation between these guys. We may get a few running back 1 weeks from them. But I'm just not sure how many we'll be able to get. James Conner is a sneaky pick for later in the season once Kyler Murray gets back. Weeks 15, 16, 17, if Kyler Murray is playing, I think we can see that offense elevated. James Conner may be in play for like a good flex spot. Wide receiver room, I do like it. A.J. Brown, Jalen Waddle. I think JSN by the end of the season is going to be a solid wide receiver 3. And then if we can get any burst from Zay Jones or Alec Burks, Jaden Reed, or John Mechie even, I would like to see that. But other than that, guys, that's it. And see you guys next time.